You're listening to Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. On this amazing show, you get a VIP look at interviews with some of today's beloved celebrities, book authors, top physicians, and leaders in the healthcare industry. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss what's next. Hi, and welcome to Preferred Health Magazine Talking Points. I'm your host, Angelina Cappiello, and I'm excited to introduce you to a very special woman. Her name is Mallika Chopra, and if her last name sounds familiar to you, yes, her father is the beloved metahuman Deepak Chopra. In her own right, Malika is also a teacher of meditation and an author of several books that help teach children self-love and meditation. And we are here today to speak about her latest book, My Body is a Rainbow, The Color of My Feelings. This is Malika's first picture book for children. Welcome to the show, Malika. Thank you for speaking with me today.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
We're excited to have you on the cover of Preferred Health Magazine and as our first guest on Talking Points.
Oh, wow. What an honor. I'm so excited. Thank you.
So we've officially had two Chopras now on the cover. We had your father last year, and we'll have to see what your brother's up to next, I guess, and maybe have a family gathering or something.
Thank you. He's doing some cool stuff. So, yeah.
Thank you. But today we're talking about your new book, My Body is a Rainbow, The Color of My Feelings, which is a meditation guide for children ages 4 to 8, and I would say parents alike. So, tell me a bit about your new book and how it's benefiting children.
Yeah, so, I've been in the last few years really focused on work with children and how do we teach children how to breathe, how to be aware of their bodies, how to feel strong, say affirmations. So this children's book is actually a way in which I'm sharing all of that. In fact, when you read the book, say you're a parent with your child in your lap or a librarian reading to a group of kids, it's actually, the book itself is an exercise. It's a guided meditation in many ways, but it's full of color and playfulness. And the goal is to bring joy to kids and, the adults in their lives who are sharing this experience with them.
And that's the thing too. I mean, today kids are so inundated with so much between social media, between the news, and it's really just crazy times with the pandemic and all. And, we're seeing anxiety disorders at an earlier age now than ever before. So this is important. How does meditation help children, would you say, in the short term and in the long term?
Yeah, so we're living in a time, of course, of extreme uncertainty and, as you mentioned, anxiety. And unfortunately, we were seeing this before, but we're seeing it exponentially now with kids managing stress, anxiety, etc. So any tools that we can give kids and adults can be very helpful. A lot of research has shown how meditation and mindfulness exercises can help with anxiety, but they also help with self-regulation, with sleep, with many other things that affect anxiety actually, or are affected by anxiety. So my approach with kids is to be really simple. So it really begins with just breathe. That's the title of one of my books for older kids. And, for any of us, as we're here together, just taking a deep breath in and out helps us, just even in that moment with one breath, get anchored and feel more in control. So that's what I like to start off with kids, to teach them just to be aware of their body. So one of the things that we're doing in My Body is a Rainbow is I'm combining that deep breath with different parts of the body. And kids are very aware of how they feel feelings in their body. So, I have another book for older kids called Just Feel, but in this book, what I'm doing is combining it with colors. You can think of it actually the traditional colors of the chakras in wisdom traditions, but basically it's the rainbow colors. And kids are aware, like when they're nervous, they feel butterflies in their tummies. When they feel sweatiness in their hands, they know that they get red when they get embarrassed. So what we're doing is just kind of looking at different parts of the body and just taking that deep breath that I had mentioned, making it more playful. And then of course we add the affirmations as well.
And you too, and you make it nice and easy for them. It's not complicated for a parent to sit there and try to explain exactly what's happening. It's kind of going with the flow and associating it with something they're comfortable and familiar with, right? And that's
absolutely. And that's the thing is, you know, what people, when we talk about meditation and mindfulness, often get almost intimidated and say,
right.
oh, I can't do that. I can't sit still. I can't quote unquote empty my mind. Things like that aren't we never can empty our mind. Actually, we can silence the racing thoughts in our mind, and we can bring down you know, our heart rate, and we can breathe more slowly. And so with kids though, what we realize when you work with kids, they don't really care about any of the intellectual stuff. They just do it. And so that's why I love working with kids, because they are usually super enthusiastic. You know, whenever I'm in a room full of kids doing something, like everyone wants to show me their yoga pose, and we do like tree pose, and everyone's kind of tumbling all over the place. But then there's often a moment where there's that one breath that everyone's silent and balanced, and it's like half a second, but we make it fun. And so that's the goal with kids, is to make it fun, make it simple. There is a lot of thought and science and research behind these things, but they don't care. They just have fun.
Right. They're going with the process without realizing it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Mallika Chopra. She's a meditation consultant and author of My Body is a Rainbow, The Color of My Feelings. Now, Malika, your upbringing, I imagine, was very different from my own. Your father, Deepak Chopra, you know, meditation guru. We were actually happy to have spoken to him, like I said, for last year's cover of Preferred Health magazine. Very soft-spoken man. So I imagine your household was peaceful, more peaceful than mine, probably. So did you practice meditation as a child, or you know, was that something that was taught very early on at your home?
Yeah, so you know, people have this conception that our family was like really peaceful and vegetarian and did yoga, and we all like sat around in front of candles. Absolutely not. In fact, until I was 9, my father actually, he only learned how to meditate when I was 9. So in my story, there was like the pre-9 years old, where my mom was a stay-at-home mom. It was me and my brother. My dad was a pretty stressed out person, you know, because he worked 24/7 to take care of the family, to relax when he wasn't on call, and at home, like he would drink, he actually smoked. And so for him, he learned how to meditate probably in his mid 30s, when he was going through his own journey of kind of figuring out how to manage stress.
Okay.
So that was when our family learned how to meditate. And then because we are a close family, and also, you know, a family of immigrants, we had other people in our community. So when my dad learned, first my mom learned, and then he taught me and my brother. The next day, my mom's sister and her family learned, my dad's brother and his family learned. And by the end of the week, the entire Indian community in Boston was meditating. So my dad just had the personality that brought everyone along for the ride, I would say.
Right. Well, he did a great job.
Yeah, so we had fun. Now, of course, for me, it wasn't really, it was like a practice, but that wasn't really part of my life. It's only much more recent, where when I had children and I really thought about the tools I wanted to teach my children, when I kind of dove deeper, and particularly in this work with kids, because I'm seeing how, you know, it started with my daughter's Girl Scout group, just going in and teaching them how to meditate or sit still for, you know, all of 2 minutes. If you got that much, it was a good step.
But like I was just thinking now, you're a mom, I'm a mom. Like we always want the best for our children in life, especially in health. So, there's also something special to be said about that connection of practicing meditation with your children, right? There's some kind of togetherness, and I feel like that would be something special. How is that for you and your children?
Absolutely. And that's why I wrote this book, actually, My Body is a Rainbow, because what I realized is when we were kids, the safest, sweetest times for me were actually after school when I'd get home and my mom very consciously was meditating, and my brother and I could join her or could not. My parents never forced us to do anything, but it was that time that was really special, to kind of, just be present, with my mom in that way. So the goal of this book is really to give parents a tool, that they can do something with their kids that's guided and easy, and they don't have to get stressed or worried, am I doing it right? I just want to always assure people there's no right or wrong here. It should be fun. The whole point is to release stress. So even when you're reading these books or doing any meditation, we have an app on, if you on the Chopra app, where I'm sharing now meditations for kids and families as well. And we have
tell us the name of the app again.
Yeah, so the app is called Chopra, and if you go to chopra.com, you can find more info, or go to the app, any app store, and download it. And so what we're finding is that, giving parents tools actually to make it easy, can kind of offer something, for families. It can also help teachers in classrooms or groups. And so my goal with all this work is just make it easy, so we give, the guided practice, that they can use, whether it's through a book or audio.
Well, they say, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? So when you're in a good place and you're able to guide your children, well, then hopefully they'll be in a better place as they grow. Right?
Absolutely. And so, one of the most often questions that I get is, how do I teach my kids how to meditate? And so my response, to parents is always like, well, don't worry about your kids. What is your practice? What do you do? Because our kids are always watching us, and we lead by example, not just words. And I learned that from my parents.
And they're watching when you don't know they're watching.
They're always watching you. And so it's, how do you speak to others? Are you kind? Are you grateful? Do you take a deep breath before just reacting emotionally to a situation? So
we have to take a stock of ourselves first as well.
Right?
Yeah. So aside from being an author and obviously a teacher, I understand you're a mindfulness consultant on a televised children's show, Stillwater, which is streaming on AppleTV. Can you tell us a little bit more about this show and how you got involved?
Yeah, I mean, I feel so lucky to be part of Stillwater.
It's such a sweet story. But go ahead.
It's so great. So some parents may be familiar with Zen shorts, which are, there was one book, but then it expanded to many books, by an author named John Muth. And I think when they did this show, they just wanted to bring in someone to help spread the word, frankly. And so that's how initially I got involved. Now I'm getting more involved, in kind of looking at scripts and just giving feedback and just, giving hints here and there. But I would say, it's on Apple TV Plus. It is amazing. I mean, it truly is. It brings kind of all the magic and playfulness of these practices that we're talking about, appropriate for children. And I think in my experience, often things are too serious. And so with this, what I love is it's just fun. It's made for little kids. And, I know from my nieces and nephews who are 3, 4, 5 years old, they just love the characters, the main characters, this panda bear is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's so cute. And the thing is too, when you're working with children, there is that innocence that is such a pleasure to be around because it's coming from such a pure place. And so this story, I mean, obviously teaches kids how to deal with maybe disappointment and frustrations and kind of patience and kindness, right? So
I know, and what they do, which in the show so well, is yes, it will be like, an example of being frustrated that a toy or something doesn't go the way that the young kid wants, and so they bring in fables and traditional stories, like basically koans, to kind of teach a lesson, but it's all done in a very kind of gentle, fun, playful way.
we need more of that in the world. We do.
I agree, 100%.
Well, Malika, I'd like to thank you for coming on Talking Points today and speaking with Preferred Health Magazine. We are looking forward to letting everyone share this with everyone on Preferred Health Magazine. That's coming out this fall. And a wonderful conversation. And we look forward to all the good you're putting out in the world.
Thank you so much.
It is with gratitude that we end today's show with Mallika Chopra. Be sure to get your copy of Preferred Health Magazine this fall and pick up Malika's new book, My Body is a Rainbow, The Color of My Feelings. Thank you for tuning in to Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. Be safe, live in gratitude, and we'll see you on the next show.